Happy Wednesday, y'all. It's day 35 of Walk with Winston, and today is the 6-week anniversary of when we got started with these little videos. Let me just encourage you right out of the gate to take small actions that are a little out of your comfort zone, and that way you can experience many unexpected benefits. For me, I've just been blown away by the comments that I get in person, the comments that I get via social media. I'm volunteering to help shepherd a small group within Dan Miller's 48 Days Eagles community, and we're talking about how to blend. So for nonprofit leaders to add an element of business, a side business into their organization to help them generate additional revenue for their missions. And then I'm also talking to business owners who want to build in a social good component into the work that they're doing. So it's about a 50-50 split between the two groups. And so thankful for that nest. And we had a great meeting last night, and a couple comments were directed at, how beneficial these reflections have been to some of the folks on the call. And so my dream, my goal is, being able to share my life experiences, both the good and the bad, in hopes that those experiences can be encouraging, inspiring, or perhaps you can learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistakes as I have. So thank you for being with me on this journey and for helping encourage and inspire me back with your experiences and your encouragement. Yesterday I commented how when tropical storms come through Florida, they take the humidity away. Well, that was short-lived. We're back to our swampy temperatures, but it is September, and once we get through hurricane month, we've got right around the corner, we've got the season what everyone wants to come to Florida. And so we're just a few weeks away from enjoying the fruits of Florida, and that is going to be awesome to share those walks with you. So today's topic is I just want to share an experience from this weekend's journey that teaches me a lesson about relinquishing control, relinquishing the outcomes of our transformation. It's a very simple story, but it's one that I think could be instructive to us, because I don't know if you're like me, but how do I say this gently about myself? I can be a bit of a control person. I love certainty, like everyone else. I love thinking that I know what the goal is and believing that I can take specific sequential action and reach my results through my own willpower, my own effort. And the nice thing about being more seasoned in your career and in your life experience, that's a nice way of saying older, is that you see the fallacy of that desire for control and for knowing the outcome in advance. The older I get and the more life experience I get, I'm really savoring those moments of uncertainty and just letting the outcomes unfold. So here's an example of that. One of the reasons I went to Toronto this weekend was A, hadn't been there forever. B, its reputation as a as a city with a great energetic feel, lots of beautiful cultural opportunities, and just the kindness of the Canadian people is legendary. That's what I most remember from my previous visit. It's just the gentleness and kindness of Canadians. And so I always, being a person who loves peace and tranquility, I seek out people of light like that who, are very gentle and kind in that way. But the other reason was it has a reputation for great restaurants and a very vibrant foodie scene. Now, in my health transformation, it isn't necessarily the quantity of food that I was seeking as much as a quality experience with food. And so, I had Friday night, the dinner was great. The place was hopping, had just a great energetic feel. Saturday night, I went to the distillery district and had looked up a restaurant that was rated in the top 10 in Toronto. And it's a food genre I really like. But I was really, and it was when I arrived, they couldn't get reservations until after 10 p.m. So I just decided to show up and take my chances as a walk-up. And I was told once I got there that it would be a 90-minute wait. Well, this may have been my mistake of deciding to sit at the bar. Now, I've had good experiences in restaurants sitting at the bar, especially, when you're not in a big party. And so disappointed with the service. Made room for a party of 3 next to me, kind of scooted down a little bit so they could sit together. And maybe it's because I was in a small party, but the party next door to me just got so much more attention. Their food, I ordered our food earlier, and their food came out first. It just was, and the more that happened, the better service they got, and by comparison, my service just seemed so lackluster that I left after just a couple of courses. And it really kind of, anyway, so it was a less than stellar foodie experience. And by reputation, this place had an amazing opportunity. So I was like, oh goodness, one of my objectives for this visit to Toronto was disappointing. So the next day, head out to Niagara Falls. I don't know about you, but when I go to a tourist town, my expectations are very, very low about the quality of food that you get in these primarily resort areas. And so I had low expectations and went, and because I purchased a Forder's travel book, I did a little reconnaissance before I went. And I guess based upon the bad experience the night before, just made the decision that I found this place that was upstairs. It said, go past all the fast food restaurants and go upstairs to this little landing above in the visitor center. Go upstairs to this landing to a restaurant, and you will have a really good experience. I thought, all right, yeah, it's just going to be a good experience relative to all the fast food joints. And so when I got there, very pleasant waitress comes and greets. And I just said, tell me what you really love here. What do you recommend? And for once, I haven't done this for a long, long time. I just told the waitress, I just kind of consulted with her and say, just bring me, of these, what's your favorites? And of these favorites, tell me why you like this one over that one. And I just surrendered the meal to her and just let her bring, after consulting a little bit back and forth, just let her bring out the various courses. Oh my goodness, was it so good. And even, you know, when it got to the final course of the day, I would really had my mind set on one particular item, and she says, oh no, that's very lackluster. Try this one instead. And so I share this little story to say, one, I had low expectations of the outcome coming in. Two, I completely surrendered to a trusted guide who had more experience than me and could guide me to a better experience. And three, I just had no expectation of the outcome. I mean, I just was there to enjoy a meal and to, what's the right way to say this? I just had no expectation of the outcome. And I had such a much more enjoyable experience than the night before, when I had expectations and I was trying to drive the outcome, and I was, you know, frustrated because of the lack of service. And the contrast of the two experiences taught me a great lesson. And the lesson is, in our transformational journey, let's not get too attached to the outcomes. Let's drop our expectations about how it's going to work and how it's going to turn out, and instead enjoy the journey. I was talking to my sister this morning just before I jumped on this walk, and we were talking about our summer of transformation, which has now turned into our fall of transformation now that school has begun. And she was telling me how much she has noticed a difference in her average pace of her walks. When she first started the summer, she was doing a short distance, and she was doing it at a fairly slow pace. And she has not only improved her distance, but she has dramatically improved her pace, probably shaving three plus minutes off per mile in her walking pace, which is an incredible accomplishment. I think she's really enjoying the journey because she just wants to get out there and take daily action. She's not really attached to some sort of measurable outcome, but after a couple of months of taking daily action, her outcome has shown up. And so I'm going to take a page out of that with my physical transformation. Well, I've got some goals in mind. I'm going to surrender those goals and just enjoy the journey. Just like I savor that meal on Sunday, just relaxing into the transformation, giving up the need for certainty and control, and enjoying the process. So that's my encouragement for you today. Give up the outcome and focus more on enjoying the journey. With that, you guys have a great Wednesday. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.